No, me first. Me first. It's going to go. I'll cue you. I'll say, okay. I'm going to talk. Thank you very much. What a nice audience. How are you? Welcome to Panel Talk. This is a half-an-hour talk show, and I'll be your host for the next half an hour, whether you like it or not, okay? So don't change the channel. If you're tuning in at home, don't change the channel. And if you know somebody right now, call them up. If they like comedy, if they want to know more about the comedy business, show business, etc., give them a call and say, turn it to Channel 29. Here we go. The show is, well, I've always wanted my own talk show, quite frankly, and I got it, and nobody will hire, and nobody like me, so I went to TCI because they're constantly advertising that they're going to, non-discrimination policy, whatever. So I put that policy to a test, and let me tell you right now, this is what I did. What I did was I slept, and I mean that in the biblical sense, I slept with everyone that works here at TCI Studios, okay? And I still got the show, so... Thank you, Sam. I have one friend in the studio. It's just okay. Anyway, we have a great show for you. TCI has given us the opportunity, and I thought, okay, talk show. Should be interesting, but I don't want to do a talk show like everybody else does a talk show. I want to do a talk show that's a little bit different. And so you think, well, what's different? For TCI, what's different, right? So I thought, well, we would film with our clothes on. So that would be a start. Because have you flip through the channels and you find naked people on your television set and you go, oh, which isn't bad because you're looking at these people and you think they're expressing their freedom of speech, whatever. But if I'm going to look at nude people, I want to choose who I see nude. And apparently you guys don't feel the same way, but I do. Anyway, we have a great show for you today. Before we introduce the guests, I want to introduce you to the other parts of the program. We have Mr. Jesse Weston, who played the intro at the beginning. How you doing, Jesse? Great. Jesse is, how old are you, first of all? 20 years old. He writes his own music, but he doesn't read a note. And he can write music. He can play just about anything. He's pretty talented. Play something. I'm going to put you on the spot. That's him. He wrote that stuff. Anyway, it's great to have talented people like you. So you work, don't say the name because we can't do any advertising, but you work in a music store. And I came by you on accident and asked you if you were willing to do the show. And you, thank God, you said yes. and so here he is. So Jesse's going to be playing music throughout the show. So there's Jesse. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Another part of the show here, we have Tuhin Fairlos. Hi, Tuhin.
Hello, Troy.
How are you?
Very good.
Tuhin is our doorman. We had applications out, and he just filled one out. We had 20, 30 people we had to choose from, and we got Tuhin.
Thanks, Troy.
You're welcome. He was the only one that could turn the knob and open the door at the same time. That's a talent. That is great power. So, okay, well, let's go meet the panelists. Here we go. Tuhin, you're with us throughout the show, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to the panelists now. Here we go. Panel Talk is a panelist of 4 people, and we have 1 guest. I'm going to talk to the guest first, but these guys are eventually going to get them, so they're really the stars of the show. The show's named after them, Panel Talk. Here we go. First of all, we have here Mr. Bob Bailey, the third. Bob, what do you do for a living?
I'm a professional juggler.
You're a professional juggler?
You better believe it.
Do you get a lot of work?
You better believe it.
Absolutely.
Working every day.
Yeah, more
Got to go here in just a little while.
Well, I hope not to keep you very long.
Okay.
It's a half-an-hour show. Do you have a half-an-hour, Bob?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You do more than just juggle. What do you do?
Well, I entertain while I juggle.
You do?
Yes. And
I don't know what the hell that means, but okay.
Well, and it would be in the comedic sense.
In the comedic, so you're a comedian.
Yes. Yeah, but I like to say I'm a juggler.
Yeah.
You know, then they expect you to be funny, and then you're a surprise. Yeah. My little secret. That's a little secret to you guys. These are The other guys on
Those
the
are
panel.
comedians as
Yeah.
well. Well,
They
what-
actually introduce themselves as comedians.
And with names like this, I'd be a
Yes.
juggler too.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely.
thanks.
You're
No,
welcome.
my name, Bob, 1-0. It's a little spelling joke early in the morning. I don't know when this show goes on, Troy.
It's going to be, we don't know either.
Okay.
Right.
They gave him a show. They're just not going to put it on.
They
I
may
like
just
that,
never
Troy.
put it on. That's
Good.
absolutely right.
Anyway, it's been going pretty good so far.
So far, what, juggling or the
The
show?
show here.
Well, thank you.
I'm feeling good about
We're in
it.
at like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Already got a good review.
Yeah, and you do a little magic.
I have been known to do magic,
And
yes.
Could you do a little magic for us?
What,
Sleight
now?
of hand?
Yeah, I probably could.
Are you ready? What do you need?
Well, look, this is something I do for the kids once in a while. I didn't know I was going to have to perform.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. And we get the camera right here, and let's see if I can do this. This is an ordinary piece of paper, oftentimes found in your own homes.
Oh, good.
Who knows what it's doing there? Anyway, here's what we're going to do. We'll try to make it disappear right before your very eyes.
Okay.
This is unbelievable. I need you to watch. Watch.
I'm afraid.
It's a little joke. Okay, here we go. Hey, gone. Look at that. Hey, TV. Look at that. Hey. Okay, Chard. Now, where did it go? Look at this. What? Hey. Those were Chard's questions. He doesn't have them anymore.
Can you make them reappear?
No, they're gone.
You're screwed, Chard.
No, they're in my underwear, Chard. You can have them later. All right.
Will you fish for them? Later.
No!
All right. Chard.
Yes.
You're the next guy on the panel.
Right.
Believe it or not. How are you doing, Chard?
I'm doing great.
Mr. Chard Hogan, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Oh, stop. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
How you doing, Chard?
I'm doing really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, very happy to be here.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And you do comedy.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I think, you know, I attempt to. You
Now,
know.
in comedy, there are different positions in comedy. There's an opening act, a middle act, and a headliner. What do you fall under?
I think I'm a headliner trapped in an MC's body.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm struggling to get out. Mostly I perform in the middle slot, like the feature slot.
The
something,
feature
but,
slot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, glad to have you with us.
Oh, thank you
And you
very
do any magic?
Yeah, but I do it with notes and they're gone. That was my only trick. So.
Okay, and then next to you, we have Mr. Sam Toffler. Hi, Sam.
Hello, Troy.
How are you?
Good to be here.
It's nice being here. Nice for you to be here, and thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sam is going to be doing a play, and again, we can't advertise anything.
No
but
plug,
he's,
so
he's going
that's correct.
across, not cross country, across state.
Yes.
And we're out of Washington State, so you know what's over there.
Off Broadway.
Way off
yes.
Broadway. Yeah.
Not even close Broadway is what they call it.
2,800 miles off Broadway.
That's right.
Hey, that's off division.
That's off division. I'm doing off division.
But you're going to be the lead
no
in that
names.
play.
Actually, I am going to be the lead
Have you
in the
been
play.
studying already? Have you been doing your notes?
What?
Have you been reading over the script? Memorized it?
Oh, that's something
That
I
comes
should.
later.
No, that's something I should be doing, though. I guess.
Well, don't do it during the show.
Oh, all right.
Don't do it during the show.
Now I'm concerned. Okay. Well, I'll
Okay.
do that, and I'll figure it
And
out.
Sam also did the warm-up, and was he funny, audience?
Thank you.
So they love you, Sam.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And I'm glad you dressed for the show.
Yes, Pacific Northwest.
That's
actually.
absolutely
Just,
right.
Prep myself.
And you have
for-
coffee,
And I have coffee.
and you're all set.
Yeah, I'm
You
fine.
represent
It's
the
good to be
Northwest beautifully.
Good to be here.
And we have Mr. Jim Bowen. How are you?
Fine, sir.
And Jim, thank God, this is my Uncle Jim. And you pull in family, and they do the best things for you. He came in as a last-minute, Uncle Jim, please, I beg you, be on the show, and he came, so that was nice. And what do you do for a living? You don't do comedy.
No, I don't do comedy. I work for the cellular industry.
The cellular industry.
We can't plug
We
anything.
can't plug
No, we can't
anything,
plug
but you know who that
anything.
is. So if you have trouble with the phones, your cell phones, you know who to call. And what's your number? No. We're glad to have all of you guys with us. Okay, time for the guest. Time for the guest. Tune, are you almost ready? Don't let her in yet. Don't let her in. But we're going to do a quick intro for our guest. I'm lucky to have this lady with us. First of all, show business. We all wonder so much is really written about show business, particularly about the people in front of the camera. But have you ever wondered about the people who take care of the business part of show business? Well, have you? Well, our guest today is an agent, but not just any agent, a comedy agent. What does a comedy agent do? Well, we'll soon find out. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Pat Wilson. How are you, Pat? Second to put your microphone on.
Okay.
Are you all set?
I'm all set. I'm awake. I'm ready.
All right. It's early in the morning, and we don't know when this is going to be filmed, but it's like, ugh, nobody wanted to get up, but I'm glad they're here. First of all, you're an agent.
Yes.
Yes.
I am. Thank
Comedy,
you.
comedians.
Yes.
And what's that? It's What's the business like?
Well, now it's quite a good business.
It's a good business.
It's a good business. There's a lot of great comedy going on right now.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it in the Northwest. A lot of very good comedy in the Northwest.
So how long have you been in this type of business?
9 years.
9 years.
9
That's
years.
a long time.
I know.
It
is a long time,
long
isn't it?
Yeah. And so you work with comedians primarily in the Northwest?
No, we work with about 300 to 400 from all over the country.
All over the country.
And I represent some people from L.A. and San Francisco as well.
Well, those are good places.
But mostly the guys do come out of the Northwest. Guys and gals come out of the Northwest.
Is the Northwest a pretty hot spot?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some very talented people here and have been for several years.
Yeah. Okay. So most of the comedians that you've been working with, they work exclusively for you, or?
No. There's quite a few bookers, and they work for all of us.
So all of you?
All of us.
Now you have your own company, which we can't say, we can't plug a damn thing.
We won't say a word. We won't say.
But you do more than just book comedy. You represent comedians.
I represent comedians.
And how does that work?
Well, they sign an exclusive agreement with me, and then I just try to get them work everywhere. Colleges, private parties, corporate, clubs all over the country.
So if somebody wanted like a private party, well, Christmas is coming up. So they wanted a Christmas party, they'd call someone like you. Not you. I'm not plugging anything.
Not me, but somebody like
somebody like you. Can't plug a damn thing. They're holding a gun to my head right now. It's invisible. Okay. So now you're in comedy. How do you fall into comedy? You just didn't wake up one morning and say, I think I'm going to do comedy.
I was booking rock and roll, and comedy seemed a lot easier.
A lot easier.
Actually, a comedian came to me with the idea and said, we need an agent that will work with us in the Northwest. We don't have anyone. Would you be interested?
Yeah.
And that's how comedy, that's how my company started.
That's how, yeah.
I caught myself.
That's how the comedy business.
The comedy business, well, it was already started in Seattle, but they had no one here to really work with them, and it just built from there.
So you're one of the first people from the Northwest?
One of them.
One of them.
There are a couple others that have a few years on me.
Uh-huh. And so your background was music, but before that, did you do music?
No, I was in restaurant management.
Restaurant management. So that's like a
Yeah.
different spectrum altogether.
Well, it's kind of working with the same type of person.
I'm not sure what that means. Does anyone know what
Babysitting,
that
lots of
means?
babysitting.
A lot of babysitting. And
I hate to say that with
prepared
your
you.
panel here.
Yeah.
Not these guys that are on the panel, of course.
Are you guys going to lynch her after the show?
Not if she buys breakfast.
They're cheap. cheap. And so you came, and you always lived in the Northwest?
No, I'm from the Midwest.
From the Midwest?
Midwest,
And then you moved up here
moved to Seattle,
and worked comedy exclusively here in the Northwest then?
yes, for a while.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Now, you certainly, I mean, your job can't be easy. You don't do it by yourself, do you?
No, I don't. I have an assistant.
You do?
Yes. Would you like to know who that is?
No. If you'd like to tell.
Troy Skubitz is my assistant.
Me! It's me!
Oh, isn't that...
It's me!
Isn't that a coincidence? What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. So this is my boss. I got to be nice. It's terrible. Anyway, so does your assistant do a good job?
Yes. He books what we call one-nighters, and that can not always be the easiest part of the business.
No, certainly not.
It's very difficult.
So what do you find the most challenging part now? Certainly comedy isn't the same as it was when you first got into it.
No.
It's different after being in it 9 years.
It's more of a business now than what it used to be.
More of a business.
More of a business. You have to be a businessman as well as a comedian now to get the good dates, because there's more comedians out there than there is work for them.
Really?
So for every one comedian trying to find work, there's maybe 20 others trying for that same job, 20 or 30 others possibly.
So how does somebody break into comedy?
Well, I tell them don't.
Don't break in.
Well, you have to start out by writing a routine, and then you take it to the open mics.
Yeah.
And you try that routine out on a live audience, and hopefully they're laughing.
So the average time for a comedian to break into the business, it just varies, doesn't it? Depending on their talent.
It does. Everyone's different.
Everyone's
on a
absolutely
different schedule.
Well, that's interesting. And do you get to see who are the up and coming names? Or am I putting you on a spot? Other than our panelists.
These three.
Other than these three,
up and coming names.
You don't answer if you don't have to answer.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not answer.
Now you see funny people all the time. Funny. And who do you see that makes you laugh? And it can be national. It doesn't have to be Northwest. But what type of comedy do you personally enjoy? And it may be different than what you book for.
Oh, it is.
Absolutely.
Robert Schimmel is one of my favorites.
Uh-huh.
I cannot really book him, Because he's considered a blue act.
A blue act.
Yeah.
So you like filth?
No. Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bobcat, we know.
I
do we know
like
Bobcat?
Bobcat a lot.
Yeah.
And women, Ellen DeGeneres and Paula
Funny,
Poundstone.
very funny. Funny ladies. It's their families out there.
I know. Their mom and dads are in the audience.
Okay, now what does a comedian do, or what does an agent do? What do you do? Because I mean, obviously you don't like to go out to see comedy all the time. What do you do that you enjoy?
That I enjoy personally?
Yeah.
I like basketball and baseball.
Basketball
I'm a
and baseball.
Mariner and Sonic fan.
So I've heard.
Yeah. And I'm real mad about the strike,
Well-
so in case any of you wanted to know about that.
Speak into the camera and tell them personally.
I'm mad about the strike, Mariners. Stop it. Okay.
And that somebody told me you like country. I don't know who told me.
Country
Somebody
what?
told. I think
Country what?
country. You pick country anything. And you like country what? Do you like country music?
Sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
Sometimes.
She's lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. She likes.
I like country music.
Country music,
Yes.
and what else? What else country do you like?
Cowboys. No, that's what you were looking for?
No, that's exactly what I was looking
okay.
for. She likes cowboys, so
Tight jeans and cowboy boots drive me nuts, okay?
I got to remember that one.
okay. So we're done here.
Okay.
The hot seat. I'm out of the hot seat. Now you're back. You're still in the hot seat. We're going over the panelists. Are you ready?
No.
Because I don't know what they're going to ask you.
I know.
Now that we
I'm
need to do
worried
it.
about this. But I want them all to know that any future work will
Don't screw up, guys. Don't screw up. All right. So here are the panelists. Who first would like to ask a question? How about you, Bob?
Question?
Yes.
I thought this was a roast.
No.
I came here prepared to roast.
Well, do
No.
whatever you're prepared for.
Oh, well, no. Actually, what is your criteria in looking for a comedy room? This is a question that a comedian
comedy
might
room?
ask. Because we do so many different types of room, we wonder what you think when you're looking at a room. Is it the amount of beer signs that are hanging on the deal? Or, I'm not sure. I mean, are you with me on this? That's what I want to know. And,
Okay.
I mean, and I am doing this show because he promised me that Big Fork, Montana one-nighter. Which is, I got
plug
the
it.
car to do it, so let's go. Anyway, that's my question. It's a good question.
Well, capacity for a crowd.
Okay, that's good.
You know, can they seat enough people to make it profitable for them to be able to pay for you guys? Just a conducive room to comedy. Is it a room that can be set up well for comedy, to have a good stage area? Are they committed to buying a good sound system? Are they committed to controlling the room? And those are all things that I talk with them about when I'm sitting down with them. And if I feel they're not committed to it, then I don't pursue it.
Which makes sense. And are a lot of the rooms you book, are they kind of rough?
I don't think they're rough. I think we have a couple in the state of Montana that are a little bit rough, yes. But I think most of them, the people are really committed to doing comedy there, and they're committed to doing it well.
Because you guys as comedians, you must have taken a lot of kicks in the teeth. It must not be easy.
In the butt, usually.
In the butt. In the anywhere. Kicks in the anywhere. How about you, Troy? Do you have anything?
Well, I'm just curious. I know that you represent people from all around the country, but what would make the Northwest different from the style of comedy that you see across the country?
I think the most difference is from the East Coast to the West Coast. The West Coast being more laid back, a more laid back audience as well as the comedy. On the East Coast, you find the comedians usually are beating up on the audience a little bit. Mm-hmm. And the audience requires that and enjoys that. So I think the comedy out here is more laid back, a little easier going.
So in a follow-up question, if you were to have
I thought he threw your questions away.
where are they? Magic trick. Suddenly I'm off the panel. When you hire comics from the East Coast to work on, can they adapt, or do they need to, or?
I think some of them, I don't think they need to adapt. I think when I look at videotapes from the East Coast, I look to see if it's someone that's going to work well with our Northwest audiences.
Right.
And if it's someone that doesn't, I just don't hire them. Mm-hmm. Because I'm obligated by the clubs to hire people that their audiences will respond to. So I have that obligation.
Okay. How about you, Sam?
How about me? Yeah. The Pat, what do you want to be when you grow up? No, I meant
I want to work in the locker room of the Mariners.
And do what?
Inspire.
Oh, inspire.
Them to win, yes.
That's what they're called.
Pre-game warm-up. Yeah, I can see you do that. Well, no, as a child, I guess, then, what I meant. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
As a child, did you ever envision yourself in this business? What were your dreams?
No, never. I mean, this was something I never even thought about that I wanted to do. Actually, as a child, going to college and being a physical education teacher was what I wanted to do, but then I kind of got away from that. So this was something I never pursued, and it just kind of dropped in my lap, and I really enjoy it. Thank you. So hopefully I'll stay at it for a while, as long as you guys stay funny.
Whoops. Okay.
Problem.
Oh, Jim.
Question: is there much call for ethnic acts in the Northwest here?
What a great question. Not necessarily just in the Northwest. It's all over the country. That every year, just about, or every 2 years, the comedy business changes from what they're looking for, what the taste of the day or the year is. And I think ethnic acts are something now that they are looking for. We do get calls every once in a while, mainly for male or female. I get a lot of calls for female comedians that we really can't fill all the time because we don't have a lot of female comedians in the Northwest.
Bob Bailey.
Pat. Now, you represent some people in the Northwest, and some of them are signed to you exclusively, from what I understand, and then some just are free agents. And so the people that are exclusive with you, do they get more gigs than the other guys, or what?
I don't think they probably do. No.
You
No.
spread it out with everybody? Because
I think-
sometimes comedians are concerned why one particular comedian might be getting more gigs than the other, like, let's say, private parties and things. Would that be because he's signed exclusively?
Not necessarily, no.
Would limit him as far as who he works for when he signs exclusively?
When I sign an exclusive agreement with a comedian, it means for a lot of work from outside of the Northwest. We go to L.A., we showcase in L.A., I will try to get them on different things like the Montreal Comedy Festival and work with them on things that maybe they would not have somebody working with them on. As far as the Northwest, they've been working with so many of the agents here in the Northwest on their own for so many years. I really don't want to hurt that relationship. So I kind of stay away from that.
Okay.
Now, I was been working on the show for a long time.
Yes, you
a
have.
long time, 2 months in the making. I'm telling you. I thought I wanted to leave Pat with a present, a gift, So, will you bring in my gift, please? It's Cowboy Stud. You know, Cowboy Stud, feel free to massage, do whatever. Don't relax to the show. Thanks for coming, Cowboy Stud.
Already, huh?
Thank you, Troy.
We spare no expense on the show. Spare no expense. But it's $100.
Oh, no problem.
And we film off of Aurora, and I just found him on the street.
Thank you.
So thanks, Cowboy Stud.
Cowboy Stud.
Let's get on the show.
And he's wearing Wranglers.
He's wearing Wranglers.
He's wearing
You can
Wranglers.
stay if you want. Would you like him to stay, Pat?
Oh, only if it won't interfere with your show.
Yeah. Would you like to stay, Cowboy Stud? Okay. This, by the way, is Ken Kadoo. And he was nice enough to come.
King Kadoo. King Kadoo.
So thanks for coming. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? Do I get a cowboy?
Cowboy Stud, will you come over? This is Charles. No, he fulfills anyone's need. $100 and he said he'd do anything. You should ask. No, go back.
Cowboy Stud.
Give her shoulder rubs. Come on.
It was great.
Keep going. Okay, go ahead. Charles, do you have anything?
Oh, that was my question.
That was your question. Sam,
He's actually a comedian, isn't
Oh.
he, Cowboy?
are you a comedian, Cowboy Stud?
I have been.
Everybody's a comedian.
Always.
In front of people?
No.
Professionally?
No.
No, you do Cowboy Stud professionally.
Only for this.
I'm the only one.
Oh, he's not a real cowboy.
Cowboy
He's only
Stud.
doing it for this show.
He is doing it for the show. I don't want anyone. If anyone knows Ken Kudu, he's not a Not a pro. Here we go.
Tend to do.
Tend to do.
He's not a pro.
Like a pro.
We'll get sued
Okay.
for slander here. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, I guess, now that you have your cowboy stud here, how is it being a woman in show business is considered a man's world to some extent? And how do you, especially with people, most of the people who are in authority, but how do you find it being a woman in
I don't
quote,
find
unquote,
it a problem.
Not a problem.
I've never had a problem and it was 8 or 9 years ago, it was predominantly male. Now it's swung the other way. There are more women booking comedy now than there ever was. But I've never found it a problem. I found it a real problem when I was booking music. But I don't find it a problem with comedy.
With comedy. Not with your cowboy stud.
Not with my cowboy, no.
That wouldn't be a problem. You know that.
Pat, for the listeners, watchers out there, 3 steps for someone to become a comedian and get to the point where they could come in and you'd book them.
Oh. Well, they have to write an act first.
Whoops.
Then they have to get up at the open mics and try that act out in front of a live audience to see if it's even funny. Because you get an awful lot of people that say, oh, I'm so funny at parties, my friends think I should do stand-up. And that doesn't always work. And then they have to get a good, solid 30-minute act. And I need to see that act and feel that it's appropriate for my clubs.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We have 1 minute left. This half an hour has flown right by, so we
Wow.
have to say goodbye to everyone.
Wow.
So, let's thank our panelists, Jim Bowen. Thank you for coming. Sam Toppler, funny. Garrett Hogan, great act. Bob Bailey, magic comedy, everything. He does the whole work. Let's thank Tuhin, our doorman. Thank you, Tuhin. Jesse, who played music. Cowboy Stud. And Pat Wilson. Thank you very much. It's been a great show. Thank you. Come on out. Come on out, you guys. Thank you. Unhook yourself. Great show. Can I take one of these?
2.
Welcome to the second show of Panel Talk. I'm Troy Skubitz, and I'm going to be the host for the next half an hour. And we have Jesse Weston here playing the keyboards. Yay! Pretty talented guy. We have Tuhin, our doorman. Terrific. Now I'd like to take this time to read. We got mail from the first show. Mail from the first show. 3 lousy, cruddy letters. 3, right? So let me take the opportunity to read these. Let me get prepared here. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not that professional. Okay, letter number 1. There we go. It says, Dear folks at Panel Talk, I like your show. I think it's great. I especially enjoy the talent of your host, Troy Skubitz. Well, thank you. To have a person who has such talent, wit, and charisma in one package is truly a gift. Well, thank you again. You're so lucky to have him. Please make the show a regular series, and I promise to watch as long as Troy is around. Oh. Okay, I wrote this letter. All right, so screw it. I got 2 letters. These are 2 actual letters. Letter number 2, here we go. Letter number 2 goes like this. Panel talk, and there's exclamation point if you can see that. Panel talk, so this is a disgruntled viewer. First of all, we don't think you're funny. Secondly, why don't you do something productive with your life, like go to medical school? What a waste. Well, this one was written by my parents. Okay. And the 3rd letter, here we go. 3rd letter here. 3rd letter, Ma. It's just a little cue because we have to do that in show business here. Okay. Dear sirs, I live in a small place in Shelton with a roommate. We don't get to see much television here. Okay. It was a great treat to tune into Panel Talk. I guess the episode I saw was the first one. Please keep the show running. Me and the other guys here in the pen are willing to take on some extra chores just to get one more half hour of television a week. Signed, John Buck Cassidy, number 467983. Oh, well, this camera here. Well, I have one thing. Oh, wait. P.S. There's a P.S. P.S. Your host, Troy Skubitz, has a pretty mouth. Oh. Oh. I didn't write the letter. Oh, I'm just reading it. Well, which camera? Which camera's on? This one here? I have a little something for you, Mr. John Buck Cassidy. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on with the show. Tuin, I think I hear a knock at the door. Tuin, is there someone at the door? Is there someone at the door? Hello. Are you sure? There is someone? Yes, I knew I heard something. Go ahead. Oh, what's happening here? It must be... Is it somebody's birthday out there?
Yeah.
Why, I believe it's Jackie Keegan's. Jackie, will you come up from the studio? Jackie, we have a 30-minute show. Let's go. We got time. We have a lot of things ahead on the show. Let's go. Come on, Jackie. Faster. She thinks she has her own show here. Welcome to the Jackie Keegan Happy Birthday Hour. Got hurry up, blow out the candles. There's so many. Oh. Jackie, you start smoking again.
Hurry, the fire department's going to be here.
Yay! Wait, Jackie, come here. 50, how many candles are there? 50?
Can't count. No.
How old are you?
51.
51. 51, really?
No, I lie about being 51.
You must have had a hard life. I'm so sorry. But anyway, but happy birthday. Huh?
Big.
Now go sit down so we can finish the show. Thank you. All right, we got to meet the panelists. The show is called Panel Talk. All right, here we go. Panel. So these people are actually going to interview our guests. Okay, so we have Mr. Jim Bowen right here. And you've been on the show before, for the viewers have watched.
Yes, I was on the first segment.
Absolutely, the first show. First show.
Yeah, that was about 2 weeks ago, I believe.
You know, I seem to remember you were wearing the same thing.
Yeah, well.
Seems like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it does seem like 2 weeks ago.
And what do you do? Tell everyone.
I work for the cellular business here in town.
So those people can figure out what you do.
Yeah.
And you're also my uncle.
I am your uncle.
He's my uncle, so this is my uncle. And next to you is Barbara Quintana. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Barbara Quintana. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Don't you want to know what I do?
What do you? I'm not done with you yet. What do you do?
I work for Doolittle and Seymour.
You do? And what is that?
I do Little and Seymour. Stupid joke. Sorry.
I walk right into it.
I work for Lake Washington School District.
Yeah, and how's that?
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
what do you do specifically?
I do mostly office work.
Office work?
Yeah.
And you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what grade levels do you work?
Right now, K through 12.
K through 12.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
All in one school?
No. It's kind of a roving gypsy program. I'm a sub, and I go to different schools.
Oh, okay. That's great, though.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do it, and you do it very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I heard that from your boss.
Yeah.
And next to you, we have Mr. Tim Skuitz. Hi, Tim. This, by the way, I forgot to say, this is my aunt. Yes. You are my brother. I am your brother. Do we look the same? How are you?
I am fine.
Thanks for doing the show. You had no choice. You had no choice. And you do what for a living? Don't say specifically, no plugging.
Oh.
You're a?
I'm a supervisor for a quick service restaurant for franchise.
For a franchise. Is there any letter? What's it? What's the first letter?
M.
M. We're not plugging. We're not plugging.
No.
We're not endorsing it. So thanks for doing the show. And next to you, we have Becky Coughlin. How are you, Becky?
I'm fine.
Good. Thanks for coming to do the show. And you, what do you do for a living?
I work at that quick service restaurant.
Yeah. So he's your boss.
Yeah.
And do you spell that double S-O-B? Answer it however you feel. You're not at work right now.
Well,
Go ahead, answer it.
I plead the fifth.
You what?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth.
The fifth.
Fifth.
Five.
School. No clue. Okay. Well,
That's why he's doing
nice meeting all of you guys. And by the way, she's not related. She's the only one not related. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome, but I wish you were. Oh. Or maybe I don't. All right. We have, our guest today is from Mexico. And then here we go with the intro. Okay, America. What a great country. Land of opportunity, land of diversity. America, the melting pot of the world. Understanding one's culture is the key to appreciating another's. Many of us take for granted how easy it is growing up under our culture, one language. But what if you had to pack it all up tomorrow and go somewhere else to live? What would you do? A place where where the people, please keep the cue cards going, where the people have a different culture, language, and ideals. How would you feel? What would you take with you from your culture? We all want to know. Our guest today is from Mexico, as I said, but not this. She didn't come this year. She didn't come a decade ago. She came nearly 60 years ago, actually over 60 years ago, when few people in the Northwest spoke Spanish. What was it like? Well, we'll soon find out. Please welcome our guest, Mrs. Aurora Bowen. How are you? This, by the way, is my grandma. My grandma! This is my grandma! Thanks for being here. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. You look very pretty.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're always handsome.
Well, thank you. Gee, I wonder where I got the jeans from. So you grew up in Mexico?
I grew in Mexico City.
In Mexico City. So, and that was the biggest city at the time? It still is?
Yeah.
And almost
Too big now.
Too big now. Really big. And your family, do you still have family members that live in Mexico?
Only two left.
Two left, and who are they?
One in Mexico City and one in Puebla.
In Puebla. And it's a brother and a sister?
My sister and my brother.
Your sister and your brother. Now you came to the United States.
I married.
You married?
In Mexico.
And that brought you?
He was collecting souvenirs.
Really? Did you fit in the suitcase?
No, they said they fit me in a bus.
On a bus. So you got married, and how long did you guys court? You folks courted?
Really not very much.
Not very much?
No.
It was like, take me to your country. No, it wasn't that way.
No, I met my husband in Mexico in the summer school, and then the following year he came back and asked me to marry him.
Wow. And? Obviously you did, or we wouldn't all be sitting here. Half of everyone is related to you, and we're all sitting here. Well, obviously we know the ending of that story. So you came to the United States, and you first moved where?
To Everett.
Everett. And you lived there how long?
A year and a half
About
or
a year
2
and a
years.
half. And then you moved to West Seattle, where you now reside. And how many kids do you have?
Well, your mother was born in Everett.
In Everett.
in 1937.
Nope. Oh, Ma, did you hear that? She said 57, 1957. Okay.
37.
Okay, and then you have altogether how many kids?
5.
Five.
No kids. 5 beautiful children.
5 beautiful children. And how many grandchildren?
We have 20. We have 19 now.
And you've been married how many years?
60.
60 years. 60 years, that's incredible. Well, now you also have additions to the family. You have great-grandchildren, too. And we can't forget that.
11.
11 great-grandchildren. And again, there's so many members in the family. Sam asked you before the show, he said, do you remember everyone's birthday?
When is Troy's birthday?
Well, yeah, when is my birthday?
In June?
No.
July?
Yeah. Anyway, your husband, when he was down in Mexico, you guys used to dance, am I right?
Yes, we used to dance.
Well, I like to show my appreciation to my guests by surprising them with a little something, okay? So, Tuhin, are you ready?
Yes.
Are they ready in the control room?
I need to focus.
They need to focus. Are we ready? Okay. Please bring in our guests today, our surprise guests. Half an hour show. Yay!
Oh, all
We
right.
have some dancers from the Puerta Severa program. And they like to perform the Mexican hat dance. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Mexican hat dance. Julio.
Cristina.
Cristina.
Rosendo.
Roseno.
Liliana.
Liliana, they were terrific. Thanks for coming. I have one more thing to say. I noticed when you guys dance, you guys look in each other's eyes. Mm-hmm. Even though you guys don't, do you guys like each other really? That's the way you dance. That's great. Very, very terrific. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
The prayers for the dancers, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was terrific.
Muy bonito.
Now that we got the dancing done, I wanted to show you one thing. Look what I have here. Where can I... Which camera? Where? Over here? This is a picture, and you can't see it. Well, I'll tell you what it says. It's Grandma with Grandpa, and they're dancing the Mexican hat dance, and I came across this as I was preparing for the show, so that worked out just terrific. All right, did you see this?
Yeah.
You were in it. What the heck? Okay. Let's get to the panel, shall we? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Mr. Jim Bowen.
Yes. Well, Mom, after 60 years here and away from your own Mexican culture for much of that time, what do you think that you brought from Mexico that enabled you to adjust to the way of life in the United States?
Because I love people. Because I want children. Because I want my children to have children. And my grandchildren to have children.
Well, you've done a good job of that, Mom.
How about you, Barbara?
What do you think your parents thought when you were moving so far away?
They were very sad. Especially my father.
Were you able to see them very often after you moved here?
Yes, because your father promised my father that he will bring me 1 year after I had been here, and he kept his promise.
And then you made several trips
Yeah.
during the 60
and
years.
with my 5 little angels, with our 5 little angels, all by car.
By car, I bet that was a pleasure trip.
Oh, sure.
Washington State to Mexico with 5 kids all stuffed in a car. Ooh.
That's the reason I had a little switch.
You kept the switch in the front seat.
I had to sit in the front seat because my husband had the tendency to go to sleep, so I kept...
So you made it safely.
That's something that Jim and I threw in the Rio Grande River, by the way. We were crossing one time. You didn't know what happened to it, but that's what happened.
They threw the switch away. They threw the switch in the Rio
But I
Grande.
found another one.
How about you, Tim?
Well, was it made clear that Grandpa was an American who went down to Mexico?
No, I don't think it was.
I don't. Grandpa was an American in college and went down to Mexico to collect souvenirs, and that's when he had met
Summer
you.
school.
Summer school. He was there.
To learn Spanish.
And so when he went back on his return trip, he proposed.
But he had no idea he was going to propose.
You knew. Is that?
No, I didn't.
So he didn't come down with specifically knowing he was going to marry. It just came all of a sudden.
He proposed in the streetcar.
Really? Did he pay? Or did you jump on?
He didn't kneel. No.
He didn't kneel?
No. His proposition was very odd. He said, have you ever thought of marrying an American fellow? And I said, why not?
And then you said, who were you thinking?
Do you know anybody?
Do you know anyone?
Do you have anybody in mind?
And so here I am.
Yay.
Well, actually, my question is how many trips? Now, you had, Grandpa had promised your father to bring you back in 1 year to visit. But how often?
For the summer, just for the
Just for the
summer
summer?
time.
How often did you take the children down to Mexico?
Oh, I think your mother, Myra, might remember.
About every other year or every 5 years? Or did you drive every year back down to Mexico?
No.
And we have Becky. Becky has some photos.
4 times, 5.
Wait. Look what she has here.
Grandma.
Look over. Look at Jim. There you go. That's, what is that of, Grandma?
Over here, too.
Oh, that's not there anymore.
That's a
What were
picture
you
of-
thinking in this picture, Grandma Bowen?
I don't know. This guy, I guess.
How old were you?
I was 18. I was not married.
You weren't married then, huh?
Do you have other photos?
Yes, I do.
What else do you have?
In this picture? You see it?
That's my father and my mother and the 7 of us.
Mm-hmm. Who are the 7?
Eduardo. My brother Eduardo is sitting on the floor.
Mm-hmm, right there.
Yeah. And my sister Lucha, and my sister Carmela. My mother is sitting between the two older girls. My father is sitting by Lucha.
Yes.
And what is this one?
And this is,
That was a wedding picture.
That's your wedding picture. Look at that picture. Oh, incredible. A great picture.
how old were you here?
I was 22 years old and my husband was 28.
And you were 18 in that picture, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. I don't know.
Okay. And here's a more current photo. Well, this was maybe not so current. Can we get this on the camera?
I think that was 30 years after we were married, I
It's your
think.
30 year? Mm-hmm. That's a great picture. And one last one. These are your kids. Look at the line. Look at the group.
Who's the guy with the hair?
Oh, yeah.
That's your mommy to the right, and Uncle John and Rosie by your mama, and Jimmy with hair,
Where'd it go?
and Barbara.
And Barbara. And back to Jim.
Yes. Well, we're certainly glad you came up to the United States, Mom. We've enjoyed the trips. We'd make trips about every 4 years, as I remember, down, and Mother's mom was still alive up through about 52, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so we would make trips pretty often, and then from that point forward, it was about every 4 years thereafter. I remember several trips in a 1950 Ford with 7 people in the car, of course, going through Yuma, Arizona, 119 degrees.
No air conditioning.
No air. Well, if you rolled down the window. But it was interesting, and I think it helped the family bond a little bit by shoving us all in a tight confinement for a period. My father's an educator, so therefore he had the summers off, and it enabled us to take longer trips than one might suppose. A 2-month trip to Mexico and back.
Jimmy, when you remember 7 people in the car, is that the year that my nephew came and we bought a saddle for?
I think
For
that might have
John?
been with the Pontiac, yeah. Mm-hmm. We come back. Yeah. Always room for one more.
We put the saddle on the roof and him on it. But let's see. Well, I'm certainly glad that the two of you met, so I could be here today. But I don't know. I guess my question would be, what's been the hardest thing to try to overcome since you've come here in the last 60 years? What's been the hardest obstacle to overcome, if there is one?
In the winter time, the snow.
Yeah, that poses an interesting question. You knew not one word of English when you moved here.
That's right.
So how soon was it before you were proficient in English? How many years?
I am not professional.
You are proficient.
In Everett, I was sent to a nice little old lady to teach me a lot of nouns.
She taught you a lot of nouns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when you think in your mind, do you think in Spanish or do you think in English?
Now I think in English.
In English. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I've always wondered because I'm not that graced in telling to know a second language. Tim.
Well, this kind of sidetracks a little bit, but Grandma's a little more comfortable than most when it comes to TV. This is not your first time on a TV program.
I used to assist Mr. Ibarra that worked for the school district.
And that was on
Channel 9.
Channel 9 PBS then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our affiliate. And no plugging.
What did you do there?
I just assist Mr. Ibarra like he taught the lesson, and then I did whatever they want me to do, like teaching them in Spanish. This program was to teach the children, the schools, in the elementary school,
Seattle Public
Spanish.
Schools.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Seattle Public Schools through the TV they were teaching the students how to speak Spanish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have something?
In Spanish?
No.
In my pocket? What do you mean?
Go ahead. Go.
It's in my jacket over there.
Remember your wire.
Becky, you have a question?
Oh, yeah.
I'm wired.
Yes. About speaking Spanish, do your 5 children, are they bilingual also?
They could be if they want to. They all. I talk to them in Spanish all the time.
So when you were at home, you talked to them in Spanish, not in English?
I have a little something here when you were on Senor, and I can't go. There goes the plant.
Maybe Mrs. Keegan can bring it on stage.
I have a little something here. This, by the way, and I don't know what it's called. It's a what? Moleo?
Molinillo.
Molenillo.
Molinillo.
And this is, what do you do with this?
That's the switch.
We used to make chocolate.
You used to make chocolate.
The chocolate comes in a tablet. You put it in the stove with milk, and then when it starts getting warm, you start stirring like that, and afterwards you go like this.
And you used to do something on Mr. Yubata's show.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
1, 2, 3, cho. 1, 2, 3, con. 1, 2, 3, la. Chocolate, chocolate. Bate, bate, chocolate.
That's great. Who else has a question?
I'd like to hear La Pelota.
You do like little nursery rhymes or what would you call it?
Yeah,
Little songs for the kids.
Little songs. But you can't do it. We have 1 minute. Is that right? We have 1 minute? This half an hour thing just went on an hour. Okay, first of all, we need to thank our guests real quickly. Jim Bowen, our panelists. Larry Quintana. Tim Skuwitz. Becky Conklin. Thank you, all of you. We got Jesse Weston here. Jesse Weston. Suzanne Fairless. Thank you. And Grandma Bowen. Thank you very much. And Ma.